Welcome to Dollars and Cents, a monthly finance podcast presented by Altra Federal Credit Union and the Leighton Media Podcast Network.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents here on the Leighton Media Podcast Network. I am Jason Malillo. Dollars and Cents, a podcast where we talk everything financial, money, spending tips, saving tips, all kinds of good stuff. And today we have two very special guests with us, Danielle Martin and Mercedes Devine. They are both financial coaches at Altra Federal Credit Union. And today, guys, we are talking about something that's coming up, which is, of course, actually it's happening right now, the holiday spending season, right? A lot of people spending a lot of money, buying gifts, buying Christmas stuff. It is kind of unbridled capitalism right now, I think, and a lot of people are spending money. But if they're going to spend money the right way, right? We don't want people to get out of their budget. We don't want people to spend too much, but people want to buy gifts. They want to buy things for people they care about. So we're going to get into some holiday tips here. Let's start, and I'll start with you, Mercedes. The first thing is set a holiday saving plan. How do people do that? How should people do that?
One of the biggest things you want to do is set up a holiday savings plan. Just get an idea of what you want to, a budget that you want to spend on each thing for gifts, food, decorations, and try to stick to that budget. Definitely when we get into the holidays, you want to leave a little bit of wiggle room for those unexpected expenses as well. But and then once you have that amount in mind, you want to determine how many weeks you have left until you have to spend on those gifts or the decorations for your specific event, and then divide that by how many weeks you have remaining so you know how much you can set aside each week to pay for those decorations and gifts and for everybody. So a good thing to do as well so you don't forget is just to use those automatic transfers. So when you get paid or when you know that you have the money in there, you can set aside that set amount that you have divided out for how many weeks you have left and put that into a separate account so you know you have that amount when you need it.
Is the biggest thing sticking to the plan rather than just making the plan?
Yes, it's easy to make the plan, but once you have to actually stick to it. So there's nothing set in stone, so you can obviously adjust things and tailor it to what life happens and things come up, but you want to make sure that you're actually following through, which is how those automatic transfers will help you make that transfer right away when you get the money, instead of, oh, maybe I'll spend it here and I'll spend it there, and then I don't have the money to make that transfer to put aside. So, yeah. Is
it easier, Danielle, to stick to the plan if you are shopping in person rather than online? Does that have any correlation?
It is a little bit because you're able to see the costs right away instead of when you shop online, you're kind of just adding a whole bunch of things to your cart and you're not always keeping track of what you're spending that way, especially when you're adding it to a credit card instead of pulling it out of like your checking account. All of a sudden those expenses can add up a little bit more quickly because you can't actually see the physical items that you're getting until they arrive in the mail.
Yeah, it's so easy to just click add to cart, and then just check out. So yeah, maybe, obviously a lot of us shop online now, but maybe shopping in person or having a balance of both is maybe a good idea as well. Next thing, Danielle, I'll start with you on this. Create a sinking fund. What is a sinking fund?
So even though we're in the middle of Christmas and the holidays this year, it isn't too early to start planning for next year. And so our best advice is to set up a savings account now and designate a little bit of money each week or each month that you can put into that account so that when it comes to the holidays next year, you have those funds available and you're not relying on taking out a big chunk of money now at one time instead of having it be a little bit planned ahead.
Gotcha. Okay. This next one I think is probably a challenge for people because once you start shopping in the holiday season, you want to buy something for everybody, right? But make a list, I guess, of the people that you want to buy for, that you're planning to buy for. Is that right, Mercedes? Is that a good way to do it?
Yes. I had to sit down with my husband and we wrote it out, who we were buying for, what the budget was for that specific person, and because I love to give gifts and shop. So sticking to that list, what that budget is that you decided is going to work in your savings plan or spending plan, and can help you prevent some impulse buying.
Yeah, and then also shop early. Is that just to take advantage of sales?
Yes. Yep. we just had Black Friday, Cyber Monday,
Right.
so those are some good, if you have that list already or you know who you need to shop for, what items you need to get, then you have some time to be able to work on those or to take advantage of those deals that are out there for sales.
Yeah. And Danielle, consider a gift exchange with limits. I like this idea because that kind of gets everybody on the same page, right? People you're buying for and that are buying for you, right?
Yes, this is something that we do with my family. And so each person draws one name. So instead of having to buy for 5 people, we only have to buy for 1. And it's a really good way to budget your money and get a special gift for one specific person instead of stretching your funds over multiple people.
Right. Danielle Martin and Mercedes Devine are our guests. They are both financial coaches over at Altra Federal Credit Union. We're talking about holiday spending tips, budgeting to buy all those gifts and all that fun stuff you want to buy here during the holiday season. Keep it simple. Always good advice with do-it-yourself gifts, right? This maybe doesn't work for everybody, but I love this idea too. This is a cool one.
This is for all you DIYers. You can bake some holiday goods, give to somebody for a gift. You can there's things out there where you can create your own decorations, whether that's ornaments or trees, or instead of going out to the store to buy that, buying those supplies or craft supplies to be able to make that on your own, to either give for a gift or use for your decorating. So definitely a good option for those that can do things on their own.
Yeah, and I know this next one, I've gone through this with my kids. They're 13 and 10 now, but after a while, you buy them stuff and they don't use it, or it's fun for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and they forget about it. Get experiences instead of physical gifts, right, Danielle? That's a good way to do it, because those are things that, I think I discussed it with one of you guys before. That's memories right there too, and so that's a great gift as well, right?
Yes, a lot of people buy things that they want or need right away. And so when it comes to Christmas or the holidays, it's hard to put a list together of things that you want because you may already have those.
Right.
So being able to share an experience together is going to be more memorable and cost effective too, depending on what you do.
Yeah. This next one is something that I think maybe we don't think about a lot. We think about the expense as far as gifts and the tree and the decorations, but the meal, the Thanksgiving or the holiday meal, the Christmas meal, that can get really expensive too, right?
Yes, I do a grocery pickup. I put all of my items in my cart that I need for my groceries instead of going through the store, and then I add a few extra things that I don't need or didn't necessarily need to pick up for my meal. That's one of the things that if you plan that meal in advance, you are able to do. You can take advantage of different sales that are going on. You have the opportunity to go to different grocery stores, depending on the sales that they have, to take advantage of any of those deals.
What if you're working with somebody else? You're kind of doing the meal in conjunction with somebody else. Is it important to coordinate that with the other person?
Definitely. Then you can have one person bring one item, whether that's the dessert or the main meal or a side dish or appetizer, and then you're not spending the money on the entire meal yourself. You're kind of splitting that up between everybody, and coordinate that with your loved ones when you get together, so then you don't have doubles of things, or you have enough food to go around.
Yeah. Use free resources. This is a big one, right, Danielle? Because those resources are out there, but I think a lot of us don't take advantage of them.
There are so many different holiday displays in the area that families can attend for free, and even reusing some of your old bags or wrapping paper. It's okay to do that because it's going to help you save money overall. And honestly, the bags go back in storage or go in the trash anyway, so it's okay to reuse those.
Yeah, we actually did this one because my daughter just had her 13th birthday last week. And everybody brought gifts, and everybody took their bags back to bring them again for Christmas. So I was very proud of us.
Yes.
It's like, we're taking your guys' tips here. Everybody was like, give me that bag back so we can use it again. So this is working for my family as well. It's good stuff. Shop at discount stores this is another expense that can add up. Wrapping paper, cards, other holiday items, right? Because this stuff, you just kind of take it for granted. Of course you're going to wrap a present. Of course you're going to put, the card on there. But that expense can add up as well, right?
Definitely. That's one of the things that I just started doing not too long ago, and it makes a difference when you go buy a $6 to $8 bag, and then the tissue paper when you have tissue paper at home, or the card instead of making one on your own. I mean, those expenses, you may have it budgeted for the actual gift that you're purchasing, but maybe you're not budgeting that extra expense of the wrapping paper or the bag or the tissue paper, things
Right.
like that. So if you can go to different stores that have discounts, take advantage of those for cheaper prices if you don't have items that you've saved previous years, or and go from there.
Yeah. Okay. That's good stuff. My I had an uncle back in the day when people actually bought newspapers every day. He would wrap all his presents in the comics. The funny pages. Everybody thought that was really cool. So that was probably
a unique
cheaper.
way.
Yeah, it was a very unique way. So that was an idea right there. But I don't think enough people buy newspapers anymore to utilize that one anymore. If your finances are tight, start researching holiday gift programs. There are a lot of those out there to help families in need, especially now around the holidays. This is an important one because, just if you're struggling or something like that, you still want to give gifts to the people you care about, right?
Yes, especially this time of the year when parents want to provide for their children and they're not always able to because funds are tight, and you have to come down to the decision of food or gifts, and sometimes the gifts go to the wayside. And so there's a lot of opportunities and programs out there that you can apply for early to be able to help you provide gifts for your family over the holidays.
Yeah, there's a lot of very good programs out there right here in our own backyard. They're very important. Last but not least, start a holiday saving account and plan for the next holiday season. We kind of already touched on this one a little bit, Mercedes, but just kind of give us a refresher on that one.
Yeah, however you want to do it, whatever works for you in your spending plan. But the earlier that you save, the more that the less that you'll notice it coming out of your account or your paychecks, and the more you'll be able to enjoy the holidays, not stressing about having to come up with those funds to pay for gifts for your loved ones. So set it up as whether it's that sinking funds savings account, setting up automatic transfers, setting up an account. At Altra, we have a Saver Sweepstake account that you can put money into that you can't take money out of unless you call in or stop in. So making it a little bit more difficult for you to just be able to easily go into your online banking and transfer out of it.
Right.
So looking at the different accounts that you have available to you to be able to save that money for the holiday season.
Yeah, I love that kind of safeguard right there, so people can't be so impulsive, right? Maybe they think about it and they're like, well, do I really need to buy that thing right now? So that's a really good one. Danielle Martin and Mercedes Devine are our guests here on Dollars and Cents on the Leighton Media Podcast Network. They are both financial coaches over at Altra Federal Credit Union. We were talking about holiday spending tips. You're out there buying gifts and decorations, buying the food for the family meal. How can you do it within your budget? How can you make smart financial decisions now around the holidays? Now, let's fast forward. The holiday is over. You have spent the money. You maybe incurred some debts. How do you then address it going forward? So how do you know and assess your debt after the holidays are over, Mercedes?
Really good thing that you want to do is just list out all the debts that you have. Start fresh if you were not tracking what you are spending, and go through, list out all of your debts, look at the interest rates, look at the minimum payments, look at the total amounts that you owe, and having this information will help you be able to create a spending plan going forward to make sure that you can take care of those monthly payments. You're not forgetting anything that you spent on a card that you don't usually use, or need to take care of some extra finances. So just really listing out everything so you know the full picture.
Is the ideal way to do it to track it as you go?
That would be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Then you can, you know what your finances are as you're going, versus going back and saying, "Ooh, I spent an extra $200 that I didn't realize I spent," or
Right.
Then you're not surprised when you come to that point to be able to put everything together in a full picture.
Yeah, okay. And then, have some wiggle room as you try to create that post-holiday spending plan, right? Give yourself, a little bit of wiggle room.
Exactly, yeah. You want to be able to take care of those extra expenses that you accrued through the holiday season to be able to pay down those debts now that you have new payments or higher payments than what maybe you did before, but also then plan to cover all those very normal everyday things like groceries and utilities and things like that. But
right.
yeah, just having that plan, having the big picture is going to help you be able to hopefully not spend impulse spending and create additional debt on top of the holiday spending debt.
Yeah, this next one is great, but a question just came to mind for me. Do you find sometimes people will spend money after the holiday season, because there's a lot of sales after the holiday season too, right? Like leftover stuff. Does that happen to people too, I wonder?
It does all the time. There's so many good deals or clearance things that are going on after the holidays. Yeah. So it's not just something that goes through December. It's something that also trickles into January and February as well, because soon after then it starts to get tax return time, and people are using those funds as well in order to make purchases.
Bonuses or the extra cash they got during the holidays or things like that. I mean, that can also be a saving tip as well. I mean, if you have that money set aside in your savings to, usually the Christmas tree goes on discount or things like that. So if you buy after the holidays, then hopefully you maybe can get a deal for next year, the following year.
Right. But, so you can do that in a smart way and find some good deals. But, you know, if you're already sort of in the hole from the Christmas shopping season, you might want to hold off on some of the post-holiday spending.
Exactly.
Yeah. Prioritize paying high-interest debt. Now, I love this. There are two methods, the avalanche method and the snowball method. Mercedes, would you just explain the avalanche method?
So that one is going to be going towards paying down the highest interest debt that you have first. So when you have that list of all of your debts that you created and you have the interest rates, the payments, you would pay towards the one that had the highest interest rate. Even if that had the highest balance on it, you want to make sure that you are paying that one down, because in the end you're going to be paying the most interest on that one, on the money that you borrowed. So you'll be able to attacking that debt first is going to help you save the most money in interest over the course of paying it back.
Got it. And then the snowball method.
Snowball method, you're going to be looking at paying down the one with the smallest balance first. Okay. So once you get that, the goal is once you get that to zero balance, then you take that payment that you've been paying towards that debt and use that towards the next debt with the next balance. So essentially, if you have a credit card with a $1,000 balance and a credit card with a $5,000 balance, get that one with the $1,000 balance paid down first. Mm-hmm. Use that payment you've been paying towards a $1,000 credit card and start paying that in addition to the minimum payment you've been paying on the $5,000 credit card, to start paying that down as well. So you've already budgeted for that total monthly payment between all of your cards or debts that you're paying off, but then you have you're applying extra to that payment so you can get that paid off as well. Okay. You want to make sure that you're at least making your minimum payments on everything that you have, but the goal is to eventually be paying more once you have those smaller debts paid off.
If you're only making the minimum payments, are you really going to make a dent into it?
No, you're still going to be preventing any late fees, or it's just going to drag it out longer. So you're still going to be on time. It's still you want to make sure you're making the minimum payment, but it's not going to be paying that. You're going to still be paying the most amount of interest that you possibly could for borrowing that money. Okay.
And Danielle, sell or return unused items. So this is a way, I guess, to get some money back, right, post-holiday.
Absolutely. The best advice is to take a look around your house and look at things that you won't use or haven't used in a while, and get those listed on Marketplace or eBay or any other websites, because it's not doing you any benefit sitting around doing nothing. Right. So it might as well be good to get a little bit of extra income coming in from those.
Okay. And then a lot of times people get cash or get other money during the holidays. You can use that money toward your debt. So plan for doing that, right?
Exactly. Any of those bonuses or anything like that, put that money directly on your debts, and instead of being tempted to spend that on something else or a purchase that you didn't necessarily need.
Yeah. People getting a side hustle, you guys call it, a part-time job or a freelance job. I would imagine this isn't the ideal way to do it, but it is another option, right?
Absolutely. It's a good way, even if it's just over the holidays, to get a little bit of extra income coming in. It's a great opportunity to make some more money and take a little bit of the debt off of yourself going into the holidays.
Yeah. And then track your debt-free journey. I guess you can do this using software, using, a pen and paper, a quill and parchment paper, whatever you want to do, right? I mean, however you can do it, you need to track this, track your spending, correct?
Definitely, and you want to make sure that you celebrate the little wins that you have. So there's a million different ways that you can, whether it's a app or pen and paper, like you said, you can track your spending, figure out what your goals are, and as you meet those goals, you want to make sure that you celebrate those in a way that you don't have to spend money, but still recognize that you are meeting those goals.
Yeah, I think, Danielle, this next to last one we have here is important because it helps people just stay organized, consolidating all the debt, right? Because then it's all just in one place. We don't forget about anything. We don't say, oh, I forgot to pay that one off. You consolidate it into one place. It's easier to concentrate on it and remember it, right?
Yes, absolutely. The best way is to visualize and see it all in one place. And so we offer a variety of different options to help you consolidate your debt. So that could be a balance transfer to a credit card at a lower rate. So maybe if you have a high interest card, we're able to move the balance from that high card and maybe get you a better rate on a different card. Right. We also offer consolidation loans through personal loans, or if you have equity in your home or vehicles, we're able to use that to get you a better interest rate and pay off your other debts that you have.
Sure. Oh, that's a good resource to have. And finally, last but not least, if people are needing help, if they're struggling, if they haven't been able to put together a plan on their own, they can come see you guys, right? Seek out professionals, come to Altra, and you guys can have some tips for them too, right?
Definitely. We have certified financial coaches that can help you create a plan or just put you in the right direction if you just need somebody to talk things through. And there's different resources on our website as well, on altra.org. So if you go on there, you can start looking at those resources on your own. And if you need to speak with somebody, talk to one of our certified financial coaches, or you can reach out. We partner with Green Path Financial Wellness as well, so that would be a third-party place that you would be able to reach out to as well.
Yeah, very good. All right, we will have to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. That was Mercedes Devine and Danielle Martin. They are both financial coaches at Altra Federal Credit Union. You can find out more information about what they do at altra.org. We were talking holiday spending tips, what to do after the holidays to pay down your debt. So, listen to the podcast. We have some really good tips on here. And again, go to altra.org if you want more information. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Happy holidays. Happy shopping.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
We will see you next time here on Dollars and Cents on the Leighton Media Podcast Network.
Dollars and Cents is a monthly podcast presented by Altra Federal Credit Union and the Leighton Media Podcast Network. Find this and other podcasts on demand at winonaradio.com.